Hi there, and welcome to this video about upgrading from XSLT custom template rendering in SharePoint Classic to the new SharePoint list formatting. In fact, just to set the context, we know that in the SharePoint Classic world, we used to extend the rendering of lists and libraries using, for example, the XSLT list view web part and providing a custom XSLT file to do custom rendering of the UI. We also used to create custom web parts built with the SharePoint add-in model to do custom rendering of the UI of lists and libraries. Nowadays, in the modern UI of SharePoint Online, we can simply rely on the list formatting capability, which is an out-of-the-box one, really simple to use and really powerful. In fact, with list formatting, we can extend the columns of a list using the column formatting. We can extend the rendering of a whole list using the list view formatting, and we can also extend the rendering of forms to add or update items using the list form formatting capability. All of them are based on a web-based designer that you can use through the browser where you are, and you can also dig into it and create really highly customized JSON templates that you can build, for example, in Visual Studio Code and then copy and paste inside the web-based designer of the list or library that you are customizing. So let me move to the demo environment and let me show you how you can do that in practice. So imagine that you have a list like a travel request list, like this one, that you created using either Microsoft Lists or SharePoint Online, and you want to customize the rendering of this list. One option that you have is to customize a single column or a single field. You can click on the icon right here just beside the column title. You can select column settings, format this column. By default, you can use the web designer, so if you click on conditional formatting, you can define a set of rules, and for every single rule, you can define the sample formatting of the text. So here, for example, if I click on the three dots, I can edit the rule, and I can say that my rule will be that whenever the travel duration in days is equal to, and I can select the value 1, or I can select, or if the travel duration is equal to 2, then whenever this rule will be applied, the style that I want to apply to the column is, for example, the green one, meaning that a short vacation or a short travel request is always allowed. Then I can say that I have another rule, so that if the travel duration in days is actually equal to 3, then okay, but okayish. So I will select the gold style. And I can do the same if the travel duration is equal to 4, just to make an example, or to 5. And then we can select a new style for the item, and for example, the style will be the pink or the red one. So, as you can see here, we have a set of rules. Based on the actual value of the column, we will change the style. And just to let you know, the style can be more than just a color. In fact, you can select a font, you can select an icon, you can select borders, so plenty of options to customize the rendering. When you're done, you can save it. But you can even do more. There is an advanced mode button right here that you can click, and you will see the actual JSON generated by the designer for you. If we copy the value of this JSON and we go to Visual Studio Code, we can see right here that this template simply defines that with the div element as the main element which will be rendered with a predefined style, then based on an operator, if the travel duration field under a square bracket, and you see with the dollar and the name of the field, is equal to 1, or it is equal to 2, then we want to apply the green style. Otherwise, if it is equal to 3, we want to apply the gold, and if it is equal to 5, we want to apply the peach one. So this is the rule that we just defined using the web designer. But we can define a better rule, for example. So we can say that rather than specifying all of the values for the travel duration field, we want to use a range. So let me slightly update the
template, and here we can say that the operator we want to apply is lower than or equal to 3. So the first set of values will be 1, 2, 3, then 4, and then 5. So let me copy this JSON and let me paste it back into this advanced editor. Let me preview it. As you can see now we have a better rule which I can save and which will format all of the values that I have in my column. Now let's say that we want to customize also how we render the list itself and not just a column. You can click here on the list of views and you can select Format Current View. By doing that, you can play with the out-of-the-box alternating row style, or you can play with more advanced rules, and again you can even click on the advanced mode. If you select this one, here you will have the JSON auto-generated by the web designer for the alternating rows. And as you can see here, let me copy it and paste it in Visual Studio to have it more readable. We can see that here the operator is that whenever the modulus of the row index with 2 is equal to 0, so if the row is odd or even basically, we will change the color and it will be gray or no fill based on the row index. So again, really simple scenario, and you can preview and save it. But you can even do more with this web-based designer. For example, you can say that you want to customize how the form to add or update an item will render. So if you click on New in this list, in the upper right corner you have this icon. By clicking on it, you can first of all choose the columns that you want to see in the view. And if that's not enough, you can also configure the layout. Here you have for the header, the body and the footer of the form the capability to provide a custom JSON to provide a fully customized rendering for your form. First of all, talking about the header, we can use this JSON, which I can preview right now, and which will basically render a gray box with the avatar of the user who is requesting the travel request and the destination of the travel request. Let me show you again in Visual Studio Code how the template for the header looks like. We generate a div, we define the basic attributes and style, and then we say, okay, in the children of the header, we want to have a div element in which we will have another children, which will be an image element, which will have as the source of the image the getUserImage, a native function provided by the templating engine, for the requester.email, so for the email address of the requester, and the size will be medium. Then we have another div element still in the list of children of my header, where I will have a custom set of attributes and style, and then we say that the text content of a div element will be travel request to, and we can concatenate the display name of the destination. So by doing that and by saving this template for the header, we can then edit one item, for example, and see that we have the avatar of the user and the destination in the header. As I said, we can do more, so we can also customize not only the header, but also, for example, the body. And talking about the body, what we can do is to group fields in sections. So here is another template. We don't need to copy and paste it into Visual Studio Code because it is really simple to see. We have a collection of sections, an array of sections, and here every single section is made of a display name, which will basically be the title of the section, and then the fields that we want to have in that section. For whatever fields you will not specify in a dedicated and target section, they will go by default in the last one, which will be the default, the catch-all one. So here basically I am placing title, requester and destination in the main information section and any other field in the others section. If I will preview it and save, we can now edit again this travel request and we can see that we have the main information and we have the others fields. So really simple to use and really powerful. But that's not enough. Now let's imagine that you want to reuse these templates on multiple environments or set collections. Well, using the PnP Provisioning engine, you can do something like that. You can do the connect PnP online, providing the URL of the target site and a set of credentials. And by connecting to the target environment, you can then do the get PnP site template, and you can save an XML file as the output of the template extraction. You can provide the name of the list you want to extract so that you will have a really lightweight template just with the list you are interested in. And then you can say that you want to use the lists handler to extract just the lists. So if you will execute this command, it will output in the current folder an XML file, and we can have a look at the file. So let me show you what's inside the file. Let me go back to Visual Studio Code and let me paste it right here. This is an XML file which defines the list instance for our travel request list. We have a collection of views, and in the default view we have the custom formatter, which is the JSON for our custom view, as well as for the fields in this list we have the travel duration days, and in this field on the right side, let me scroll right a bit, we have the custom formatter attribute in which we have the JSON encoded of the custom template for the field. Right now, at the time of this recording, with the PnP Provisioning engine, we still do not support extracting the custom template for forms. Now, what can we do with this custom template? Well, we can connect to another target site still using connect PnP online, and then we can say invoke PnP site template, and we can say that we want to apply the travel request.xml file that we just extracted. By executing this command when connected to another target site, we will be able to replicate the list with the custom templates, rendering templates for the list, for the columns, and so we have an easy way to deploy our solution onto multiple environments.
Here you can find additional links if you want to dig into the topics we covered in this video. And like always, thank you for watching.